Well, it's time to test this thing out. So it looks like I may be streaming here. I'm testing out OBS or Open Broadcast Studio, and it looks like the thing is working. And maybe with me just in the lower corner of the screen, you might actually be able to stand the glasses. Okay, let's have enough of the infinity display here and go back to my website. This is MidwesternGeekandCali.com. It's obviously a blogger site, and I'm using that to host the show. And all my episodes are up here. And you can just visit this by going to www.midwesterngeekandcali.com. That will land you right here. On the right hand side, there's a little bit of an intro video. All the episodes are done here on the left. There's a donation button if you're so inclined. I would really appreciate it. It helps me keep the show going. And then you can click here just to send an email, or just email me at midwesterngeekandcali.com. And you can subscribe by email, so when we put up something new, you'll get an email with that in there, and then a little bit of page stats, a little bit about me, more recent posts listed over here. You can search by labels and categories over here and have lots of fun. And of course, when I have still pics that go with the episode, they are only available over here at MidwesternGeekandCali.com. So you'll find lots of still pics. These are all from LA Comic-Con. This is interesting. This particular one was from the folks. This is the folks manning the Edgar Rice Burroughs booth. They actually represent Edgar Rice Burroughs' estate and family. And Edgar Rice Burroughs was the writer of Tarzan, and also the writer of John Carter of Mars. The John Carter of Mars books were written between 1914 and 1941, I want to believe. Actually, 1912, sorry. So just saying, quite a bit of interesting stuff there. Of course, I'm still trying to figure out who this gal was. My photographer Charles knew her and suggested we take a photograph together. I could not hear her well. Unfortunately, I have a little bit of a minor hearing issue, so while we were at the show, she was saying something to me and I couldn't quite hear her, and it just didn't work out. Anyway, it was a lot of fun at Comic-Con, but onward, upward. I've got a couple of other things to tell you about here. You can find us, of course, on YouTube at MidwestGeekCali. There you go. And I'm fairly responsible. I'll check it at least 2 or 3 times a week. I'm not on there every day because I work full-time as an IT instructor, and I'm also a full-time IT student at the same time. So this is one of my Twitter accounts. This account is specifically for this show that you're watching right now. There's a couple of things I want to talk about tonight. And one of them is Intel Optane memory. This is interesting. It's an article on Forbes.com, so I don't want to sit here on their article, but Intel Optane memory makes hard drives perform like SSDs. This is really interesting. Using the internet, that's actually my next one. So let's go back over here to the site for a minute. And that Intel Optane memory, it's actually inserts in an M2 slot, and it kind of figures out what you use a lot and adds that to the memory and kind of caches it, but there's more to it than that. I haven't read that story for about 3 or 4 days, and I only gave it a quick glance over, but this is very interesting. If you see this, if you have any experience with this, I'd really like to hear about it. Hit me up on Twitter, or come back over and shoot me an email. Email me, midwesterngeekandcali@gmail.com. Anyway, and let me know what you think, what your experience has been with that. So, on that note, I want to go back to this story. This is the one that I'm really, really interested in tonight, using the Internet of Sound to transfer IoT data via speakers. This is not just going to be Internet of Things. IoT is Internet of Things, meaning connected devices and such. It's going to wind up being something quite a bit more than that. Internet of Sound. This is a story I spotted on networkworld.com, and it's fascinating. What they're doing is, where there's sound coming from your appliances, like, beeps from transducers, not really transducers so much, but speakers, they're adding in a signal from ultrasound to use that as a data transfer medium. And then any existing microphone should be able to pick that up. This is really a software thing. The hardware is already out there all around us. Look, there's a microphone on my webcam. I've got a headset attached to my computer via USB. There's a microphone on that. I've got a speaker set up in here. Any of these could be used by this software to actually transmit and receive data. And it doesn't require wireless. It doesn't require radio waves. So this is interesting, because sonics, just going through the air, and sound can go around corners and from room to room in ways that radio can't. I could see this being combined with Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or both. Sorry, it's been a long day. Combine this with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and you're going to wind up with some very interesting stuff. And when 5G comes, 5G, the radio frequencies for that have a tendency not to want to penetrate walls very well. So here you go. You've got an audio transmission channel and receivers based on just microphones. So you can transmit and receive data both via Wi-Fi, via Bluetooth, and via audio, and also Li-Fi, which is basically connectivity over light. Webcams and light sources can become a transmission and reception medium for data. So if you think about it, eventually all these things could be combined to not only give really good local area, like say room or small office or home area networks, a lot of bandwidth and a lot of signal what I want to call it signal verification. For instance, if you've got 3 sources of data transmission and they're all transmitting the same thing, then it may be that the data is going to be a lot more reliable, because if 2 sources agree and one doesn't, one's not putting it all through, but the other 2 sources are, it all adds up to a much more reliable transmission. If you're looking for data reliability, say like a computer file, like a Word doc or an image or a program installation file, you know, like an executable file or something like that, where you absolutely have to have the file intact, and that's more important than speed. This would be a good way to transfer, you know, file information that requires data integrity from device to device within a local area. So the other way it could be used is to increase throughput for things like audio and video, where the integrity of the file is not as important as the speed of delivery. At that point, rather than using the data channels to verify what's being sent so that they all agree, like consensus verification of data, instead what you would do is each channel would be pushing through part of the data and allowing it to go through faster. So you could have Li-Fi, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and well, Bluetooth kind of tends to be in the same frequency range as Wi-Fi, so that's more of an either or. But Li-Fi, audio, data transfer, or I call it acoustic transfer, and Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, all three methods going at the same time. So light, sound, and radio. Well, you might be able to get some pretty interesting throughput. And then on top of it, your fridge can be talking to your computer, your printer can be talking to your computer, your toaster can be talking to your computer. You know, all your outlets in the house can be talking to the computer. All they need is a little tiny speaker and microphone, and the computer can talk back and control those things over multiple channels, including an acoustic signal. So it's really an interesting technology. I think it could be kind of a little bit of a game changer in some ways. And I think we're going to see and hear more about this coming down the road. I'm going to keep the show brief. I did start decorating at my office at school, my desk area for the holidays. You know, I'm having a lot of fun with that. That's turning out good. Let's see if I can find a picture for you. I think that I tweeted one earlier today on my other account. So let's see if I can dig that up. Hang on. Sorry if I'm going quiet on you. Here it is. And did I tweet? Yes, I did. Here you go. Here's my desk at work, done the holiday lights around the desk. And then on top of that, now just in case anybody is commenting, I can't see that right now because I'm not looking at the channel while I'm doing this. I'm streaming with OBS. So just wanted to let you know. All right, so I got the lights and the garland up yesterday, and then today I put lights on this post right here alongside the desk. And then Monday I'm going to go in and add garland to the lights. So this post is actually lit up at my desk. And then let's see here, me being me, I've got my glow-in-the-dark aliens. Hugging a Christmas ornament. What kind of saucer is this? Yeah, it's all fun. Yeah, it is Midwestern Geek in Cali, so, you know, you got to enjoy life where you can. Anyway, I am going to keep it brief here. I just wanted to stop in and say hi, get everybody going into the holiday season. Let's see if I can do a little bit of this, and I want to show you what's on the t-shirt that I'm wearing now. A little Merry Xmas, okay. Here's the original. I actually did the artwork. Let's see. That's about as good as it's going to get. Yeah, I'm kind of an X-Files fan. Actually, I'm the happiest with the way the Lone Gunmen turned out. So, I'm getting into the holiday spirit. Yeah, I know it's not Christmas yet, but I kind of enjoy doing that. And let's see. Let's shrink that back down where it belongs. Maybe somewhere around there should be good. And then we'll get off of that. And well, I think that's it. I'm going to say goodnight and say, as I like to do, happy Vulcan fingers to you from the Agent of 42. And may there never be a rogue wave in your coffee mug. And I'm planning on doing some book readings, some readings of part of a book I'm writing. Also, oh, I forgot to mention, I wanted to mention this at the beginning. I am looking for at least a monthly regular co-host in the local area on here. I've mentioned that in the last episode. I'm going to keep mentioning it until I actually find someone. So if you're interested in co-hosting this show, I'd love to have a two-person banter back and forth. I think it's better than what I'm doing now, which is talking head. Now, one person rattling on. I think you wind up with a way better show when you have two people bouncing things off of each other and an actual conversation going on. So just saying, I'm looking for a local co-host. Needs to be somebody obviously that's into tech geek and esoteric and all that kind of stuff, paranormal, etc. And so that we can actually bounce ideas off each other and maybe work on coming up with one really good show a month. And then I'll try to keep doing as many Friday shows in between as I can, just to stop in and point out like what's going on, what's the kind of cool stuff happening lately. But other than that, everyone have a wonderful week, and I will be back hopefully next Friday, either Friday or Saturday, and stop in and say hi and see what's all the latest tech news. I'm a little low on tech news this week because it was a really busy week at work and school, but I think those two stories were both pretty cool and interesting. New form of memory, that's really interesting to me. Oh, by the way, it's really inexpensive comparatively. It's about as cheap as a regular hard drive. A lot cheaper than an SSD. So I'm hoping that pans out, that turns out to be a really good thing. And on that note, I'm going to say good night.